Right, there we go. Okay, so this is going to be, believe it or not, session 9, which is pretty amazing in itself. And I'll let you guys introduce yourselves and your channel and your characters. So, DBJ, you're first.
Sure thing.
Take it away.
I'm playing. I am DBJ. I have a channel that's difficult to spell, so you just type in "Bring Back the Magic," and you'll see a bunch of videos out there. I just pretty much rant and rave on any topic that comes to mind. A bunch of people like them, but I pretty much stay unfocused and rant about things. But I'm playing a human cleric and named Roice Vandermeer, and he's been going through a series of psychological changes because he was and ran away from home, was an ex-slave, and became a priest under the Corona, the goddess of the rising sun, and finding out how difficult it is to maintain a balance of whether he's a criminal and a slaver or a holy man and a mentor for the group of outsiders. So that's it.
Okay, Jim.
Jim, the Chaos Net. I don't have a channel, but I frequently play in David Sims games, so you can probably find me there. Tonight I'll be playing Aristos Bladesong, who is a half-elvish blade dancer, which is an order of elves who are devoted to keeping the elvish knowledge intact and defending what are known as trees of knowledge. And it's come to pass that some of the things called lore shards or lore stones are actually pieces of the bark of the trees of knowledge. So he's gone out in search of those, and he has some magic, very, very limited magic. His skill lies in his proficiency with dual blades and a thin, long blade, or a two-handed great blade, but it's very quick. He's a agile fighter more than a strength-based fighter. So he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's very emotional, and he's very loyal to his fellow outcasts of Fang, Wispin, and Roice.
Okay, Lloyd.
Hello, I'm Lloyd. I run the channel Your LDM, where I run lots of games, and I recently put out a series on how to create a one-shot, because I've done like 10,000 one-shots at this stage, so I thought I might have some advice that might be helpful. And I'm going to be playing Feng, who is a human monk. He was kicked out of the monastery, or he left. It's kind of a matter of perspective, due to being undisciplined and not really listening to what they were saying. And he kind of is a strong believer in punching first and then punching again while asking questions. So he's a guy who punches a lot.
Okay, all right, thanks. Okay, all right, and with that, let's dive in, guys, and get this going. So just as a quick synopsis, DBJ, you said you were able to kind of catch some of the last session a little bit, and the only thing I think that I'll just add to that, just to kind of refresh everybody's memory, including my own, is that the party as I was going to say as a collective, but not even as a collective. Basically, Wispin and his father, both members of the Alchemy Guild, were actually entrusted by the Elven King, Eniac, to place the remaining lore stones into a crown of his, for unknown reasons. Well, supposedly for unknown reasons. No one says that they know exactly what the purpose of this is, except for the king himself. Wispin and Fang handed over the stones that they had after after Roice entrusted them with them, basically. Okay. Um, and Aristos was the only one of the party who decided that he knew better what to do with the stones. So he basically kept his, for better or worse. This caused a little bit of an uproar, and apparently the king, at a later date, wanted to have a private audience with the group in order to discuss possibly an alternate, or to try to figure out why his blade dancer was being so hard-headed, basically. Um, then during this time, it was found out that Wispin had suffered a wound of some sort while he was in the Emerald Dream, that caused his father a little bit of concern. So when when the companions were moving amongst the city, they eventually met up with Wispin again, and saw that his arm was basically in a sling. But he apparently said that he wasn't in a great deal of discomfort. Um, while Aristos, Wispin, and Feng were partaking of what was it, plum wine in a tavern. Roice was actually being a good Samaritan, and was actually aiding some of the elves who had apparently, well, you guys didn't know this, but apparently some elves had come under attack under mysterious circumstances. So this is all new news to everybody here, basically, to bring everybody up to speed. And actually, because of King, what's his name here? Well, I'll get it. The Wild Elf King that you guys had helped out before, he basically vouched for Roice, which is why Roice was embraced by the other High Elven healers and asked to help with some of the casualties. DBJ Roice basically found out, like I said, that these elves had been attacked. They had basically been just armsmen of the city itself, and they were worried that the actual elvish city may have come under attack of some sort, but they never found out who or why, this was happening. So there's still some concern about it. So lastly, while the other three companions were in the tavern, they actually had a visitor, another wild elf, who they encountered in their battle of the Illithid in the wild elves' throne room. She actually talked to Aristos and kind of gave the guys a little bit of information, and I honestly said that, keeping it simple, that they pretty much were going to go along with whatever Aristos decided to do. The three courts, the Fey courts, the spring, summer, and the winter courts, were all here, which is something that's quite unheard of, to have them meet all in one place in this city. But apparently, what Eniac, the Elven King, decides to do with these stones is of great importance and concern for all of the Fey court. Okay, these stones are also considered to be apparently not only a source of lore and knowledge, but apparently they're also kind of like a source of pride, and they're a status symbol, basically. It is considered only the most worthy are to be given the great task of hoarding and guarding these stones. So there's a lot of unanswered questions. And then lastly, Feng had an encounter with a student that was of his monastery, who he had grievously injured in the past and promptly forgot about. Except this student didn't forget about it, and he reminded Feng of this tale, and he actually had two monks of high caliber with him as well, who were not too pleased with their opponent's apparent ability and renown either. So we don't know what their play and what their point in all this is either. So that's it. Okay, that's all the backstory. I'm ready to go. Enough. Okay, all right. So DBJ, let's start with Roice. Actually, you are leaving out of basically. It's just a series of low structures where. I guess typically it's just it's an elvish hospital is basically what it is, for lack of a better word. They've got they're ill and injured there. You haven't really seen these types of injury before. The elven armsmen that were injured looked like they had suffered a series of deep cuts to their bodies, but the cuts were it's almost like they refused to the wounds almost refused to heal and close. You know, the armsmen are all still suffering from feverish dreams. You know, they're sweating. Their faces are even more pallid than usual of even elves. And it seems to have, like I said, everyone seems to be quite concerned with it. You haven't yourself at this point tried any spiritual or magical means of healing yet. I'll leave that up to you and to your discretion. But some of the elves that are there, they have been, from what you see, partial to natural healing. You know, no one has come out and said anything negative or disrespectful towards you or your religion per se, but you can just tell from the vibe that you're getting that whenever you're pretty much there with one of the armsmen, there's always a pair of elven eyes there watching as well. Okay, so you're aware of that, but no one has actually come out forthright and said anything, to you about it. And they all seem overly polite, overly courteous, that type of thing. And I guess the last thing that you've heard is that your companions, they are actually, I guess they were staying with at Aristos' villa, we'll call it. Okay, which you can find if you need to. So we'll say that you're standing right now in the doorway, looking out on the street, as it were, and it's approaching late evening. Okay, sun hasn't gone down yet, but you can see it slowly sinking towards the horizon. Okay. Oh, and one other thing, I'm sorry. You have also heard that you have heard of Aristos' reluctance to hand over the stone, and you've also heard that it is his intent to perform a ceremony to bind the stone to the lore tree, regardless of what the king wants to do with it. Okay, I thought that would be important too. Okay. Okay. All right. So, is there anything that you may want to know about or do specifically?
I would definitely be polite enough not to spread my religious beliefs here, because I'm really a invited guest within their community. Mm-hmm. But I would inwardly I would prefer to just do what I can to heal them, to heal the victims, but I refrain from doing so. Okay. As I excuse me, as I was tending to some of them, I was trying to find out from having different conversations with them, what attacked them or who attacked them, how many, and just try to get bits and pieces from each of them as to what happened and what the attack was. Kind of like understanding that each person may have their own story, and just combine the elements. If someone says, we were taken by surprise and it felt like a whirlwind of blades or something, and then someone else says something else, it was a big creature or whatever. And so mentally I'm not going to dispute what they say. I'm just kind of mentally going, okay, trying to think what it could be, and when I find out, I'll give that information to the guys at the end of the evening.
Okay.
So I'll, at the end of the evening, wash my hands of like blood and that kind of thing, and then make my way over to Aristos' quarters.
Okay. All right. Okay. You are actually able to get a little bit of convoluted kind of information from the armsmen themselves, and it seems as though they are a little bit hesitant to admit that they were overcome in one way or the other, especially perhaps to a mere human, But you do get the information that it did seem as though there was one common factor, which was that there were these red eyes that seemed to be peering at them. Okay.
Okay. I've since then, and giving over the lore stones, I'm a little nervous as to what's going to happen to us.
Yeah.
Especially to Aristos, because he's definitely going to go through with it. So I want to have his back, because I'm afraid that there might be elements that might want to not be honorable and take him out, because I'm used to backstabbers. So
okay,
when I'm done, I'm going to make sure I make my way to his place and just make sure no one's following me.
Okay.
I know that there are guards and such, but just looking around and just hoping that they don't send assassins or someone poisons his food or something.
Okay. All right. Jim. So the last thing, or actually Jim and Lloyd, the last thing that happened was that you guys had the encounter with the monks. Okay. And what did you guys what did you guys come to any kind of agreement or anything after that?
Definitely felt weird that these guys came out of nowhere and then made demands of Feng. It wasn't really, there was no explanation given as to why they wanted it to go a certain way, and they were definitely not forthcoming or friendly. So Feng is definitely wary of the whole situation, but he knows that the threat was made pretty overtly, and he recognizes that the monks there were definitely of greater ability than his. So he's wary about it for sure.
Okay.
And it doesn't really matter at this point, because I gave the stone to Wispin, with the understanding that he was going to take it back to wherever Wispin goes when he goes away, which is probably the Alchemy Guild.
Okay.
With the wizards, I mean, it'll be very difficult for anyone to take it from Wispin. So
okay.
When I need to begin the ceremony at High Moon, I'll have to find Wispin and get the stone back so that I can rejoin it to the tree. That's
okay. Okay. All right. So I will just have you guys on your way towards Aristos' quarters, and you see Roice coming up the pathway. Okay, and you see that there is a Aristos would recognize the robes of just a healer accompanying him.
Okay. I will show them the respect that they're due.
Okay.
And bow and greet them.
Okay.
In the name of the House Blade song, I bid you welcome to my home. Enter freely and of your own free will.
Okay, all right. You've allowed the vampires to enter. Okay, all right. Okay. So the healer nods, and once again, thanks Royce for all his help, and kind of fades away. And you guys are basically sitting there at this smallish table with some delicate-looking ceramic cups and some crystal decanters on the table with various liquids in them. So what's the game plan now, or is there one?
Well, um, here's something I would like to throw a monkey wrench into the game. My stepfather, Galadil,
Mm-hmm.
is he comes from our house is a well-off house, but he has political ambition,
Mm-hmm.
and he may see this as an opportunity to either make a play towards the king
Oh wow. Okay.
or make a play to back the king in order to move up. See, there would be two ways that he would be able to move up. If he makes a play against the king, he
Mm-hmm.
would be able to make the most traction. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he would be able to make a huge gain there. Whereas if he were to back the king, he would make incremental,
Right.
uh, advancement, but it wouldn't be to the extent of his ambition.
I understand.
So I don't know what he does. His relationship and mine, since I'm not his true son,
Mm-hmm.
is not very good, which is why he gave me this villa away from his lands. So I mean
Okay.
it's well off and it's decent.
Right.
It has all the amenities that you could ask for, but it's away from he and his true children,
Okay. And your mother stays with him?
of course.
Okay. All right. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
While we're sitting here with Feng and Royce, I'll disclose my plan. I have the scroll. I'll show them the scroll.
Hmm.
I'll let
Now
I'll let.
reiterate what that scroll is.
Well, the scroll is a created advantage that I made uh, that is in yellow called Scroll of Rebinding Ceremony.
Hmm.
And what it will do after an hours long ceremony is that one of the lore shards or lore stones, the actual piece of bark off of the tree, I'll
Hmm.
be able to rejoin it to our tree of knowledge here so that all of the elves who come and meditate at the tree would basically have the ability to understand that knowledge, but they wouldn't be able to
Right.
take its power in of itself, if
Gotcha.
that makes sense.
Yep.
So if they have the shard, they could basically pull the power out of the shard or use the shard for whatever power they can get. But my order believes that the lore should be available to all elves. And
Mhm.
each of the elves, the high elves, the wild elves, and the shadow elves, each has their own tree of knowledge, and they have their own blade dancers
Right.
uh, for each tribe, so to speak. So I want to affix this back to the high elf tree, where my order protects,
Okay.
but the king wants it for his own ambition or for
Mhm.
whatever, which I haven't been able to find out if there's a precedent set for this, if the king should get it because he's the king,
Mhm.
or in my position is that it belongs to all of the people and should be reaffixed to the tree,
Right. Okay. It belongs to the people. Okay.
which is why everyone hates him.
Right. Because you don't know what you're doing, punk. Okay.
Right. And the
Okay.
fact that I'm a half elf,
That too.
so
Right.
that
That too.
never helps things.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. So basically, you guys are sitting around and more or less just discussing the occurrences that have happened and the events that have happened. Just pretty much bringing each other up to speed. Um, and um, I will throw this bone at you. As Royce is describing the haunting eyes that these elven armsmen seem to all recall, Fang suddenly jumps up from his seat with a haunted look on his face, and you also remember a haunting visage of burning red eyes from the encounter you had in the hidden temple underneath the city.
Hmm. What? When?
You remember your opponent who you were fighting, doing the dance of death around the
Yeah.
altar?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
10 rounds and no hits.
So it just like hits me like a vision. Is that what happens?
There you go. Yeah, you remember. Hey, wait a minute.
So I'll be like holding a tiny little teacup because you said they had and holding that, and then I'll just like dramatically drop it onto the sauce.
Okay. All right. It shatters.
So I just had a vision, a memory. Red eyes, you said, right, Roice? That damn rat.
You,
Had
you
red
mean those people that could shift into half man, half rodent, living in the sewer? Those people?
Yeah, the ones who were trying to complete that ritual that we interrupted.
With the with the wild elves.
Yeah, the slaves.
Elders, his daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
The were-rat leader that got away?
Yeah. I wonder how he got away.
Was filled with inspiration, I think.
Very true. Very true. But
so are you saying that it's here?
It could be. I don't know. I just got a.
In the Enclave here?
I've got a feeling. Just a good feeling. Something's not right.
Can't you sniff out mages and such?
I can. I'd have to.
Well, that probably won't do you any good here in the High Elf Enclave. Everyone's a mage, basically.
I think this is saturated with magic.
Mm-hmm.
I could, I guess, try and meditate and focus on it, but.
Dave, do I know if there are any tunnels underneath the Enclave?
Why would there be tunnels underneath?
I don't know. I don't think that there would be, because
then you don't think it comes to mind, but why would there be tunnels? Like I said, why would there be tunnels under the Enclave?
Creepy cults to hang out in.
Right. There are no creepy high elven cults. What are you talking about? We're all on the up and up here. So I mean, that whatever. There wouldn't be any logical reason for them to be here, as far as Aristos knows. But it wouldn't be beyond. Well, you're putting two and two together, so.
Could I go to the great library, the great repository of knowledge, and see if I can use my heightened librarian skill and find any mention of either catacombs, dungeon, escape path, anything that might be tunnels underneath the actual enclave? Because it's in my mind that if there are the lycanthropes are here, the were-rats, they would be.
Go ahead, yeah.
The rats tunnel, so
there you go. Right.
They would.
Yeah,
that would be the first place.
But Aristos, there's a great possibility that there may be a faction that's hiding this element. I mean, what better way to use that against an enemy and then blame a third party on breaking up or destroying or even murdering another member of another faction. You can't point the finger at another of the high elves.
Well, how many factions do we have at play here? We have the high elves, the shadow elves, the wild elves, and your human.
Yeah, Mr. Oot.
The Oot. So that's 4 factions.
Yeah. So who benefits and who would who would most likely, or rather least likely, align themselves with something as foul as
I'll look at Fang.
You're missing a faction too, Aristos.
Am I?
Yeah.
Me?
Huh?
What faction am I missing?
The Fang tie-in.
Right, that's Oot.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay, there you go.
So
Yeah.
from what I saw, there was a bear man. Was there a rat?
There was Bear Man, a Monkey Man, and there was Ayaz Oot, who had some pretty creepy black armor on. So
could it be a monk? Could it be a rat monk? Is there a rat style?
I'm not familiar with it, but it's definitely possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is. Yes. Yep.
So I could try and meditate and focus and see if I can sniff out any evil wizards.
Oh, now it's evil, not magic.
Why don't we just go why don't we just go to this monk and just drag the information out of him? I don't understand.
Well, the two monks that were with him had achieved animal form, which is something you get only at the highest levels of mastery.
They got fists. I got swords.
Well, you've seen my fists and how deadly they can be. If I was to continue on this path, I would eventually, hopefully, someday, become a dragon-shaped person.
Wait a minute. So they're beyond your skill?
They are. They've achieved mastery in one style. I use lots of styles, but they've focused on one and have become a master of it. And when that happens, you take on some of the aspects of that creature.
Well, in blade dancing, there's always a counter style, a counter to a style. Do you know what the counter is to their styles?
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely think on it.
Oh God, don't hurt yourself.
try and figure out what the counter would be. I'm guessing that monkey is deceptive and quick. And
You know that monkey is acrobatic, evasions, quick strikes, distracting movements.
I would think then that bear is tough and hard hitting, but it's probably quite slow.
Power.
Yeah.
Damage.
So what would rat be?
Rat would be deceptive, sneaky, probably using some sort of foul magic to do poisonous attacks.
There you go. Foul magic.
I'll look around.
Yeah.
Because now that you say sneaky and deceptive,
Mm-hmm.
are we alone?
I mean, you look around, and as far as you know, yes. I mean, you don't see anyone sitting in your, I guess you guys are kind of like in a, it's typical Elven style, which is kind of like, the area that you guys are sitting in is kind of like an open,
It's like a receiving room.
well, is it an open? No. You guys are kind of you guys are kind of in the middle of the villa, which is basically what it is, And there is no, in this open area, this courtyard that you guys are in, where you guys are sitting talking. It's open to the air, to
like
the
an
sky,
atrium.
like an atrium. Thank you. Yeah. So I mean, as Aristos stops suddenly and kind of looks around, all you hear are the evening birds, and you see the sky that's slowly turning like a purplish blue above you.
Well, someone could be spying on us even as we speak, even as we talk right now.
Possible.
Fang will finish his little tiny saucer of tea. That he's poured another one after smashing the first one.
Mm-hmm.
He'll just say, "This is cowardly. All these people hiding their intentions and scheming. It's nonsense. I don't like it. What I think we should do is do some research, see if we can find any tunnels. I will attempt to meditate and focus and see if I can see any sources of particular foulness in the city."
We also need to get in contact with Wispin because, he has the stone.
He doesn't have time for you. Okay. All right. So we can kind of just go one. DBJ, did Royce have anything that he wanted to contribute immediately, or did he want
Uh,
to knock some sense into these guys, or what do you?
well, I think they finally got it. That you know, I'm not familiar enough with the factions' motivations,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm pretty convinced that one of them is brought these outsiders in,
Mm-hmm.
and is going to use them to affect the how affect the politics.
Mm-hmm.
But Aristos knows more about the specifics of the factions,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm pretty much convinced that they're going to send an assassin or do something to us because we're the outsiders.
Mhm.
Get rid of us, and they can go back to the status quo.
To the
So
way things are and have been.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Um,
That makes sense.
we're a little harder to convince to change.
Mm-hmm.
How things are, whereas the status quo of the other courts. So I'm paranoid because
Okay.
I've been around backstabbers before, and yeah, it's coming soon probably.
Okay. All right. So was Fang going to meditate here?
Yeah, I mean, somewhere quiet.
Okay.
In his pack, he's got very little. He's got like 2 sets of robes, and he's got like a candle, and that's pretty much what he brings with him. So he'll like just go
No
somewhere
soap,
quiet.
no nothing.
That's it. That's all he brings.
Got a toothbrush twig.
He's a man of simple pleasures.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd find somewhere quiet, and he'd light the candle, and he would like try and meditate. And this is like something that he would do, or he was taught to do as a gold dragon monk.
Mhm.
So when he was brought into that sect to try and root out or kind of focus on certain evil magics
Mm-hmm.
in the area, it would look like it wouldn't show him the person. It would just show a certain color of aura
Mm-hmm.
somewhere within. If you can imagine, it like zooms out,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like astral projection, and he would like see just like this beacon of nastiness somewhere
Cool.
in the city.
Got it. Okay. That's cool. Okay. All right. So Fang strikes a pose and lights the candle and puts it in a dish in front of him, and the candle is kind of floating there, as it's lit, and Fang kind of concentrates on the flame of the candle and kind of looks deeper into it. Okay. All right. Um,
So, question is, what skill do I use to do this?
we are going to have you use your. We'll use your notice.
Notice. Okay.
Yeah, we'll use your notice. But I am going to compel you because you are an undisciplined Golden Dragon monk. All right. So your target number instead of 3 is going to be 5.
Ouch.
Okay, because you are undisciplined. So you can either take the fate point or you can tell me to stick it somewhere and pay 1 off.
That's a tough one. I'm not good at this. I'm good at the fighting arts, not so much at the mystical arts. I'll take it and see what
Okay.
happens.
Okay, all right, okay, cool,
I
okay.
might need it.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Ooh, not bad. Okay, so that's
Oh, wow.
3.
Okay.
I will invoke that fate point you just gave me, and I'll use I'm better than Aristos because he's going to go research stuff. I want to make sure that I get my stuff done.
That's fine. Okay, all right. So you will do it then. Yeah, that's a success then. Okay, all right, okay. All right, cool, okay. All right, so
Getting
in
your
order,
kind.
right, in order to finish this off, Fang's vision kind of dives into the flame of the candle, and tell me what you see.
So he would like sit cross-legged and start controlling his breathing and stuff, and stare at the candle, and then kind of, quiet his mind, which is difficult for Fang.
Mm-hmm.
He was never good at this stuff, but he manages to do it because it's important.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of just like leaves his body behind and floats up into the air.
Okay.
Looks across the city, and there's like auras and stuff of various magic users.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of glow, and they glow different colors depending on who they are, what they are.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, do I see anything that's glowing a violet red? 'Cause those are the ones.
That's what you gotta look out for.
And that would be pretty much anyone who would be considered like like an evil wizard.
A threat, or it's kind of like your sixth sense.
Yeah,
Something
someone
that is
who like
potentially
is
hostile to you.
yeah, and also like someone who uses corrupt magics or
Okay, we'll go with that then.
something
Okay.
like blood magic or something evil like that.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. You aren't certain, of course. We'll say that because of the nature of the enclave itself, it's
Mhm.
still kind of difficult for Fang to kind of distinguish between a lot of the different auras and everything,
Yeah, I
because
feel
he's
like
not that he's not that well trained at it. Um, but what he does see is that he kind of uh, he can see the rough outlines of the various structures, that make up the city. And it's real interesting because it seems as if these structures themselves are infused with some kind of aura or power of their own. This whole city seems to almost be like a beacon. You know, um, and like I've always been telling you guys, have you got like you guys always see the pollen motes and that are kind of floating around in the air. You actually see those as well.
Mhm.
Now what you do see is that your body seems to be kind of almost like have a magnetic kind of pull of some sort, to uh, this corruption or this corrupted magic of sorts, and you seem to be being pulled or attracted in one specific direction, and you kind of you relax and let yourself be pulled along. you know
Yeah.
as you kind of look over your shoulder, you see what can only be described as Fang's silver cord running off into the distance, which is basically your the lifeline of your soul, pretty
Yeah.
much. You see that, and it appears to be like really vibrant. um, and as you look back, you see that you're apparently getting closer and closer to the actual the Elf King's his the actually the throne room. Okay.
Uh-oh.
That can't be good.
Okay. And as you kind of hover above and look down, your vision kind of scopes inward, and you see a vibrant aura standing next to one of almost equal intensity that is apparently of the corrupt sort. Okay. The corrupt aura seems to almost be. It looks as though it's almost testing the other aura that's next to it. You see kind of like tendrils of energy kind of like wind out, and kind of almost like grab or caress or touch the other aura and then shrink back as if they've been, hurt or,
Yeah. Rebuked.
repelled in some way. Okay. You also see that nearby, not too far away, is another aura of lesser corruption. Okay, that seems to be hovering nearby. Okay, and I think I will leave it at that as
Yep,
you
sure.
fade back and open your eyes.
Okay. So he'll open his eyes and just be like, he's not used to that at all. There were monks who would like specialize in that sort of thing. He was a
Mhm.
foot soldier, not so much a far seer.
Mm-hmm.
And he would like snuff out the candle, like, click his finger at it, and with the force of the air,
Okay.
extinguish it, and carefully take it out of the bowl of water and put it back in his pack, and then he'll go find the others.
Okay. Well, Royce is right there, and Aristos is on his way to the archives or library.
Sure, I will say, Royce, we've got a problem.
You got a problem.
Just
There's
one?
my meditation was successful. I was able to see some of the auras in the city, and I was drawn very strongly towards the throne room. And there is at least one malign aura in there, powerful, testing another powerful aura. But one of them definitely evil, and the second hovered nearby. So it's possible that something is corrupting the king.
Okay.
I know this probably makes no sense, but that's what I saw.
No, it makes perfect sense. It's just who is it and what do we do about it? I mean, we're the humans in Elven enclave. We make any action and we're going to be put down, dude. Yes, very much so. And your skills are legendary, let's say, but not against all of the Elven factions, because they would that would be the thing that would have them strike us down. So we're going to need Aristos' light hand at this, if we can call it that, and or maybe do something to draw out this corrupting influence and expose it for what it is to everyone. Maybe that would be the best thing to do.
I agree. Maybe we could try and get someone who's more familiar with this kind of magic and this aura reading and this ability to detect these influences to do such a ritual publicly. Somebody who's a well-known wizard. And if we were to figure that out and he was to point somebody out, that could be all we need.
Well, there's no one we trust except Wispin, and I can't see him working against his own people. Not in that way. Not in such a public.
And we barely trust that guy.
Hey, you're not there.
I know.
Wonder if we could create a situation that would draw them out. Like bait. Like,
So, for example, I'm well known as a man who doesn't mince words. Mm-hmm. If we were to have this audience with the king, and I was to accuse someone very publicly of being a dark wizard, we could have you and Aristos watch the reactions of those nearby and see if we can read any sort of surprise or shock or anger on anyone's face. I don't think I'll get in any more trouble than I'm in already. So it might be something that we could do. It might give us even the slightest hint at who it might be.
That's as good as any plan that I can think of.
Yeah, maybe Aristos will return with some sort of handy knowledge that we can use.
Okay. All right. Okay. So while you guys are pondering upon what the proper course of action should be, I should say, we'll go to Aristos. Aristos finds himself in the repository of lore and knowledge, and you see that there are basically other lore keepers there that are not blade dancers, that are just caretakers, basically, of other more typical forms of knowledge, basically books and tomes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
yep.
my first action is going to be to create an advantage of my encyclopedic knowledge of the books and lore here.
Okay.
Being a part of my order, all of the Elvish lore, I had to study and understand their Dewey Decimal System for doing things. So I have that. So what would my difficulty be?
That's something that's pretty normal and typical for him. So it would just be a fair too.
Fair lore?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I got +1, +4. So I got succeed with style.
Okay.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. I got a.
Number 2. You need 3 over, so you need a 5.
I got a.
Should have.
Yeah, I got +2 to that as well. So I got a 6. 6.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. So I have that. So I'll enter into the library. I'll greet the ranking librarian
Mm-hmm.
and tell them that I am of the Order of Blade Dancers.
Mm-hmm.
My little pin clasp on my cloak, and tell them that I have some study that I wish to embark on.
Okay. All right. They know of you, of course, and the one lore keeper he bows to you and says, of course, please, we only ask that you return whatever materials back to their proper place. And good luck with your search. Oh, and then he stops and he turns and he kind of raises an eyebrow at you and he says, there wouldn't be anything that I could help you with, would there?
No, friend. I thank you for uh, for offering, but I think that I know what I'm looking for, and it's just a matter of me finding it.
He
But
just.
should I need your assistance,
Mhm.
I will not hesitate to enlist your aid.
He gestures to your armaments and says, "My friend, there is my brother. There is no need for those in this place. This is a place of knowledge, not of combat." And he holds his hands out for you to
And,
place the weapons in his hands.
and I'll point to my clasp, being a protector of this place. It is incumbent that I am able to protect it at any and all times, such as the order to which I belong, as you well know.
Okay, he bows even deeper and says, "I stand corrected." And he waves his hand over across the great chamber, and he says, "I shall be,
Watching.
within."
Yes, I know.
I shall be within call, and he sachets off his robes, whiskey. Okay.
All right, so I have a pretty good idea of where I'm going to begin my search in
And
the.
I mean, there's tomes from floor to ceiling, dude. And actually, there's yeah, I'll call it a catwalk, but there's it's 2 levels, and you go up the stairs, and there's more books. This is basically a hollowed out like a large tree, more or less, structure that's just hollow, and the books are just lined around the inner chamber, up,
Okay.
like almost like a spiral.
But again, my encyclopedic knowledge, I kind of know where it is that I need to go,
Yeah.
and I'm going to look at the basically the settling, the time of the settlements,
Hmm.
and the architecture, etc. The great houses coming together to determine uh, what buildings needed to go where in order to allow the magical vibrations to
Okay.
be their most powerful. So
Okay.
uh, I'm going to look there, and hopefully I can come across something stating that there are catacombs or tunnels or some such.
Okay. All right. So you begin your search, and you find a particular area where the tomes seem to be quite thick, heavy, and only slightly dusty. In other words, that haven't been disturbed in quite some time. Okay. You see that there's actually a kind of like a what would you call it? Almost like a protective barrier of some sort, almost like a cage over the front of these tomes. Okay, and you see that there is a indentation, basically where the lock would be, that would fit perfectly with your family clasp.
Okay. I will submit the clasp.
Okay. All right. So there's a soft glow as you place your clasp, the face of your clasp, in this depression. and the basically the bureau or what have you, the doors kind of like just glide open.
Okay. All right. I'll begin my search.
Okay. All right. So you lose yourself in the pages of these books, and let's see. There's really no need of you to make a roll because you're gonna know what I'm gonna tell you. So basically, you find out that there was an High Elven architect by the name of Lammas. Okay. And he was one of the major, or he was the one who designed the layout of this enclave. Apparently, he was the one that designed also a lot of the architecture before the elves actually set foot upon Brixia. Okay. And just as a note, Lammas decided to take the walk into the Emerald Dream once his time had come, and was never heard from again quite a long time ago. So he isn't here. Okay. But you see that every structure, including the actual location of the enclave, seem to be determined not by the intellect and the purpose of the high elves in this realm, but influenced and determined by the actual Emerald Dream itself. So they basically built this enclave so that they could access the Moon Gate.
Okay.
Okay. And then the actual placement of the structures within the enclave were there not only to guard and kind of keep the Moon Gate on more of a focused. Some Moon Gates open during certain times, of the season or of the year or whatever. This one stays open.
It's a permanent.
It's a permanent Moon Gate, yeah. And then also, it seems as though the architecture is actually made basically encircling the tree, the great tree. Okay, so you see that there's almost like there is a diagram of almost like a magical circle of some sorts, and the tree is in the center of it.
Okay, I will see if I can kind of sketch out a rudimentary diagram.
Okay, it's a triangle. Okay, with a circle in the middle of it.
Okay, is the apex up or down or left or right?
Up. It's up. And then each of the sides is for each of the three courts.
Okay.
And the knowledge is what binds them all together.
Okay. I'll continue looking to see if there's anything resembling any catacombs or any tunnels.
Yes, the important thing. Yes. Okay. Sorry, went on a tangent there. You see that there is actually note that some of the there are specific blade dancers that are actually they are full-fledged blade dancers, but they're also groomed to actually tend the tree itself and to take care of the tree's more natural needs, water, pruning, even things of that nature, because it is a living thing. And there is a side note stating that a blade dancer, a tender of note, actually spoke of tunnels or barrels that are underneath the tree due to the extensive roots that burrow into the earth.
Okay. Do I see anything stating that the tunnels or the root network is contained fully within the circle, or do they extend outside of the circle?
That you don't know.
Okay. All right. I'll slam this because I hate reading.
Okay.
I like to go hit something in the face, but I'm
Okay.
happy because I got the information before Fang did,
Okay.
and I have some actionable information. So I'm going to place my class back in to make sure that everything closes up the way that I found it, and I'm going to take my little charcoal and paper drawing and kind of roll it up and hightail it out back towards my villa.
Okay, before you can make it out the front door.
Damn you. Remember, I'm armed.
The keeper intercepts you, and he bows very deeply, and he says, "Pardon my intrusion, Aristos." He says, "But is it true that you are to go against the wishes of our High King?"
You of all should know that the wishes of one elf, even a king, should not outweigh those of the elvish people as a whole. You know what my order is charged. You are equally as charged, though not as extreme as my own order. So I wouldn't expect you to understand.
He says,
but once the shard is safe back onto our tree here, everyone will have access to it. Even the king, should he desire it.
He says, "But the king is he is the people. He is our voice."
That's not true.
Okay, he shrinks back almost in horror.
He's but an elf.
Now his mouth drops. You know.
He's one of many elves. Born into a hereditary caste system, he's no better nor worse than any of us, of you. He simply has a different position.
He shakes his head and puts his hands over his ears, and he rushes away.
Get lost, punk.
All right, I'll give you a fate point because you started some shit. Okay. All right. Okay.
So I hightail it out. I know he's gonna go blab on me. And Aristotle said, "The king is nothing." Blah 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 blah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So as Fang is putting his implements away, Aristos rushes into the villain.
I have information, and I'll throw the little scroll that I drew with a circle and a triangle. Say, "This is it."
I'll jump to my feet. I have information too.
How do you have information? You didn't go anywhere. You're still here, sitting on your fat ass, drinking all of my teas. There are tunnels underneath. There's a root system from the great tree of knowledge that certain blade dancers called attendants tend to. And there are tunnels and barrows, so our were rats would most likely be there. I didn't find a way to access them. There has to be a way, though. What did you find?
Well, I explored the. Well, it's complicated, but
so it's not as good as my information. I take it.
You probably just wouldn't understand.
Oh, it's good.
I found out that there are some corrupt dark magics within the throne room. Two, one of which was a beacon of unholy power, and the second a lesser but also powerful force. So there are possibly forces corrupting your king.
Probably that shadow elf bitch.
Could be.
And her lackey. And his throng of warriors that are behind him. Could you tell who it was?
No, all I see is um, the auras themselves. I'm unable to see the actual people.
Were they tall? Was it bright? There's a tall aura, a short aura, a fat aura, skinny aura?
It was like 5'5",
How long ago?
brownish, grayish, blackish hair.
How long ago was that?
About 3 or 4 minutes ago.
If we went there now, would they still be there?
It's possible.
They may not let us in. Royce?
It's not smart. I agree with you guys that we need to stop this, but
You can get us in, though.
yeah,
You have
but
an in with the temple.
if we make a move, we will be put down.
We just need to see. We just need to see who's there. Then we can identify the people who Feng saw with his Feng vision. And then we'll know at least who we have to watch, or, who's complicit in doing whatever.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just afraid if we walk into that room, you guys have low impulse control. And we need a smarter plan. I was thinking of if this ceremony, if we spread a rumor that somehow in this ceremony that the shard must be left alone or placed in a location that's away from everyone, and we can find whoever comes after it. Maybe they'll come out of the shadows, and then we can stop them then, whoever it may be.
I'm sure that they know what the ceremony entails. I mean, it will entail me for probably 5 or 6 hours to complete the ceremony. Whether that's alone or with you all, there you can't assist me because you don't know the ceremony, but you can be there to protect me. And if it's known that I began the ceremony, like you said, if you all, from the look of it, if you all aren't there, maybe whoever is responsible for this will play their hand. But once the ceremony starts, if I don't complete the ceremony, the lore stone will be destroyed.
Oh, wow. All right, I'll try my best to get us to the throne room.
And wait, Wispin has the lore stone. Where the hell is Wispin?
You're the idiot that gave it to him. No.
Well, it's okay if it's in his hands. I was just wondering if there was a way, but your people would understand and would know at least some of the general details of the ceremony. So, in essence, that you would be at your weakest.
Yes. I wouldn't be able to do anything while the ceremony has begun. I wouldn't be able to defend myself, to fight back, or anything under the fact that if I stopped, the lore stone could have a reaction. It would most definitely be destroyed, but how it's destroyed, is the key. Would it just turn to dust, or would it turn into a ball of flame? Would it engulf me, suck our souls out? I don't know. But let's go to the throne room now, though, right?
Yes, we might as well.
You're going to have to talk us in because they're definitely not going to let me in, Royce. I mean, I can't get us in.
Wow. Okay. All right. Hopefully my with me helping with the injured, hopefully that will give me some clout. But
you want to create an advantage?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I do.
What do you want to call it?
I'm going to call it. Um, let's call it.
You owe me.
Let's call it a sign of respect.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Like a temporary sign of respect. Basically, that I help them tend to the wounds of the injured, and so they're offering me a sign of respect to
Okay.
do so.
Okay. So that will be using your empathy.
Empathy,
Okay.
okay?
Which is +1. Okay.
+1. Yep.
Yep. So go ahead and roll 4 dice.
Yeah. For
And
some reason, mine does not appear on a.
okay, that's fine.
I got two pluses, and that's it.
That's
So.
it. Okay.
Yeah,
So that's a 3 total.
correct.
A success. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So you have what was it called again?
Sign of respect.
Sign of respect. Yeah. So you have sign of respect with 1 free invoke.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. And Lloyd, I apologize, man. We should have created an advantage for your.
No, I thought he was going to.
Afterwards I was like, damn, I should have done
Yeah.
that. Not a big deal.
I should have
Just got
suggested it to
like
you.
focused mind or something. like that.
Yeah. So okay.
Not a big deal.
Okay. All right. So you guys briskly walk to the throne room, to the front, the gilded double doors of the throne room. Okay. And you guys see standing in front of there are a pair of elvish armsmen with their just
Rapiers and longbows.
fancy, they're fancy elvish duds on, looking nice and regal and everything and serious. Okay, all right. So they put their halberds in a cross form in front of the doors as you approach, and one of them looks with some disdain at first the 2 humans and then at the half elf.
Here we go.
And says, "What is your business here?"
My name is Roice. You may have heard that I helped heal the wounded after the assault on your people.
Okay, they look at each other. They look at each other, and then they look back, and the one says, "Yes, we know who you are."
I wanted to personally give the king an update as to the well-being and the injuries, and to personally thank him for allowing me to tend to the injured, because that is my calling.
Okay. All right. So what skill, and I'll let you choose it. What skill do you want to use? Are you do you think suits what you're trying to do? Because I mean, is that more or less kind of the truth to a certain degree, or are you bluffing, or?
No. I mean, it actually is the truth. I will, give them an update and such, because I get the feeling that they're looking for that. They're looking for deception.
Mm-hmm.
So the truth is actually the best deception in this case.
Okay.
So,
by what you said, now it sounds to me, by the nature of what you said, that you're trying to basically get their compassion, being that you've helped their people out,
right?
And as opposed to you just trying to sweet talk them, and say, hey, you should let me in because I'm a nice guy, and this, that, and the other. So to me, it sounds like it's still empathy. That's what it sounds like. So, okay, all right. So go ahead and make the roll. Your empathy is +1, and then after your roll, you can decide whether or not you want to use your free invoke of your sign of respect or not. It's up to you.
All right.
Okay, depending upon the roll, and you need a target number of 3.
Ooh, oh, -2. That.
Well, empathy is not a social skill.
Well,
it's for feeling
reading
out
people and stuff.
Yeah, for reading people.
Well, That's yeah.
Rapport
Well,
is for positive communication.
well,
Provoke
okay,
is for negative,
okay.
and
Go ahead and re-roll.
and deceive is if
And
you're trying to
but
lie.
your rapport is 0 though. So
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
yeah, so go ahead and re-roll.
You want me to
I'll let you do
re-roll?
that. Yeah, go ahead and re-roll. Yep.
And roll.
Thanks, Jim.
Wow, still -2 to
Okay.
a 0.
I
That makes
know.
it.
Okay. So then you can do you have any other aspects that you think would help Royce in doing this?
I can invoke my mantle of reason, because it would it
Okay.
as if to say it makes perfect sense for me to
Okay.
want to approach the king,
All right.
and being upfront as to why it is that I would want to approach the king and
Okay.
have them pass through.
Okay. So if you do that for a fate point, and then along with using your free invoke, you would do it with no problem.
I'll do that. I've got 2 points, so I'll use one of them.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you do that. Okay. So after a moment of hesitation, the guards kind of silently confer with one another. Okay. And they allow you guys entrance. And as you guys walk in, for whatever reason, Feng and Aristos still are the recipients of hardened glares as you guys walk in.
Is there a problem?
Okay. The guard turns his neck snaps back forward and he says nothing. He looks out into the distance at attention.
So I suggest you stand your post.
Okay.
Not have truck with your betters.
Man, you see his jaw tightens at the last comment.
I'll nudge Aristos. Give him a look like even I know what's happening right now.
Okay. All right.
We barely got in here.
Right.
All right, I'll run and catch up with Royce.
Right. So you guys enter the throne room and you see that it is draped in shadows. Okay. And as is of typical High Elven architecture, the sky is open above you. Okay, and you see that there is the distant twinkle of stars as the evening is quickly approaching. Okay, from up above. Okay, and you
All
can
right,
hear.
Fang, who's glowing?
Hey, guy, can I finish the?
You are Aristos. You're
I'm
glowing.
gonna have to make a video about this because interrupting the GM. So anyway, as I was saying, you guys see the figure of Eniac reclined as much as he could be on his throne. Okay, and where is it at? Okay, here it is.
I don't think we saw a picture of him last time.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, all right. I'll show you a picture. I can't remember, but I'll show you one. You see him reclining on his throne, and that's what he looks like.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
Okay, all right.
May have given him a little bit more respect had I seen that picture.
Okay.
Kicked him back.
And you see perched upon his head is a crown that looks like that. Okay.
That's an impressive looking bit of kit.
All right.
Very
Okay.
nice.
And you see that immediately, especially, well, you guys know. You see, especially Aristos, you see that there are some, instead of gems, there are lower stones embedded in the crown itself.
Like a lot?
Enough? You've never seen anything like that before?
So he's been doing this for a while, I take it.
Obviously, yeah.
So there's more than the 2 that we gave him.
Son of a...
Okay. All right. So you guys approach, and 2 other armsmen appear almost out of nowhere in front of the king, and they your friend. Oh yeah, I can't not have your buddy show up. The vizier, over there.
No,
The Viceroy.
Viceroy. I'm sorry, yeah, the Viceroy shows up. I'll find it. But the Viceroy shows up, and he intercepts you guys as he steps in front of the armsman, and he says, "What can we do for you this evening,
I'm
outsiders?"
here to speak to the king.
And kind of sneers at you, Fang. On what authority?
The guards let us in.
And he kind of looks like, what?
I'm definitely going to have to step into this.
Okay.
And it place my hand on Fang's muscled chest. Like, wait, hold on.
Okay.
I'm here to give the king a personal thanks and update on the warriors, the gentlemen that were attacked, and to let him know that I appreciate being able to help out, and to give him a personal update on their condition.
Okay. The Viceroy, he looks at one of the other armsmen that's with him and kind of waves his hand, and the armsman rushes out, headed towards the front entrance that you guys came into, apparently to deal with whatever infraction. What did you say?
Stupidity.
Right. Obviously so. Okay. And the Viceroy kind of lightly tugs at your arm, Roice, and kind of attempts to pull you off to the side.
Whoa. Okay, here's what I would like to do. I'm not going to hit anybody. I want to just touch the Viceroy and close my eyes and try and focus and see if I can feel anything from him in terms of, like, dodgy powers.
Wait, who else is in this room? There were the armsmen.
There's the armsman, the Viceroy now. You see the king on his throne still. Oh, here he is. Okay, and that's all you see. And I told you, what did I say? Oh, I was trying to tell you some other stuff, but I got interrupted. But I told you it's very shadowy in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
If I remember correctly, Ayaz's little scene involved a lot of shadow
There's
too.
the Viceroy.
Worm. God, he's such a nerd.
But I bet you he can kick ass too. I'm going to focus my elvish sights into the darkness and see if I can see anyone hiding or lurking about while Fang is talking to the Viceroy.
No. Fang isn't talking to the Viceroy. Roice is talking to
Roice is talking to the Viceroy. What is Fang?
He's trying to perceive the aura.
Okay, and I'm looking around the room.
Okay, man, you guys are all over. Okay, all right. So hang on.
So basically, Roice is distracting.
Well,
looking.
Okay.
Not by design, but...
Okay. So DVJ. All right. So he pulls you off to the side, and he kind of he looks back towards Fang, and Aristos is kind of peering around and through the shadows, and Fang is staring, kind of with a squint at the Viceroy, and the Viceroy kind of takes another step back, and he looks at you and he says, "Yeah, I know you are a man of some reason. What's the meaning of this? What's going on?"
God, that face! Take it down. My God.
I don't do voices very often, so I enjoy it.
I tell him, I'm very unfamiliar with your ways and protocols and ceremony, but my meager human nature warrants me to speak directly with people and let them know that I appreciate being able to help out as well as I can, and to assure him that I did not sully your men with my divergent religious touch. and to give him an update of the men that were injured, and maybe there's something that we can do to help in regards to finding the attackers.
Okay. Um. He takes a long, look at you,
Hmm.
uh, and he says, he says, I know that you have been of some use in helping us, and your intent is well, but you must realize that only because of the minor influence that Aristos and his family have here, but mainly upon the word of his mother, are you humans still allowed to be here?
Uh, Viceroy, I understand your need to protect the king. We don't have any harm for the king, but uh, believe me when I say that that your insistent need to want to insert yourself into these things is not helping matters.
He he looks taken aback. He his face kind of turns a little bit red, and he says, "And who are you to tell me what my purpose within this enclave is? You with your," and he kind of flicks at your robe,
Hmm. Hmm.
and he says, "You with your nonsensical barbaric uh, goddess that you follow." You know, he says, "My people have been here for ages, since when your kind were nothing more than beasts in the trees."
Uh-oh.
Uh, I
Uh-oh.
beg to differ, Viceroy, because while your people have been here for thousands of years, every day they looked up and they saw the sun. And
Yeah, but
that is the goddess that picked me, that granted me power. So as long as the sun has risen
hmm
and fallen in the sky, is as much power that is wielded by my goddess and granted to me. So please, let's not get into, shall we say, measurements of importance in
okay,
this regard.
okay. Uh, Perhaps we have started on the wrong foot, but you have to understand the position that I'm in here. He says we have the three courts of the Fae, all represented here, all prepared to either bow their heads down under my lord, the king, and he kind of waves his hand, at the king there, who, excuse me, who is holding what appears to be a lore stone in a loose lore stone in his fingers, and is kind of rotating it around, kind of looking at it, and it kind of catches a moonbeam, and kind of glints as you look at it. Um, he says, uh, "There's no, we don't have the time for any types of distractions with these negotiations." He says everything must go perfectly. The very survival of the courts is at hand. So you, with your tales of healing a few guardsmen who need to be flogged, does not seem very important to me.
Hmm. This is just mentally. I'm just thinking like, now I understand why Feng and Aristos are the way they are. um, all right. I say to him, I'm going to make one last plea, and then you will no longer have to deal with the smelly humans to allow us to at least amuse the king. with some of our pleasant words and simple to allow us to thank the king in person. It would seem rude, and our lifespans are short. Probably you're seeing us age and wither and die as we stand before you. Let's give haste to this, and then maybe we can, I don't know, talk over food and or drink so that I could understand your position even better.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and make a rapport roll. Okay. And you have a target number of 3.
I hope I get a 3 because I have a rapport of 0.
And remember, you still have your sign of respect floating around, even though it will cost you a fate point to use it. Okay. And I can't find. I'm looking to see if I can get you on anything else, but not really, without kind of stretching a little bit more. So go ahead, target number 3.
All right.
Can I create an advantage for him called "I'll shove that pointy hat up your ass"?
No, because I know,
I'm not in the scene.
You're peering in the shadows right now. You should have thought of that before.
All right.
That's more of a Fang advantage anyway.
Right. I don't know.
All right, I'm going to make the roll.
Okay.
Damn, and a total of -1.
Man, okay. All right.
This guy's irking me. I'm trying to hold back, dude. God.
Well, remember, even if you fail the roll, you can succeed at a cost. You can tell me that, I want to succeed at a cost, Dave. So it's just up to you. It's
And it's a major cost, right?
Well, yeah, it'll be a serious cost, yeah. So whatever that means, yeah. So he's standing there looking at you.
He's cracking his knuckles.
Okay.
Let it go or what?
You know what? No. We're here. I will succeed at cost.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And do I give you the cost?
If you think you have a cost that can be narratively enticing, go right ahead. I will gladly do that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, and it can the cost happen later?
Sure.
Well, no. Okay, let me explain it. That I succeed.
Yeah.
But you
get audience, but at what price?
After into our chambers.
Wait, say that again now. I'm sorry.
That the Viceroy sends guards into our personal chambers to go through our things and to later the same guards that let us in. Their punishment technically is to in essence like apprehend myself and probably Fang because we're the dirty humans.
That's okay.
Wait a minute, you guys are staying at my villa, right?
Yeah, but
we're gonna have a rifle.
That's right. Okay, and I'll give you a fate point for the previous or the earlier in the conversation when you defended yourself using Corona. Saying the sun has always shined down upon you. That was good. Yeah, so take a fate point for that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So he kind of squints. He squints his eyes. And he kind of bites his lip a little bit, and then he says, "Wait here until you're summoned." And he swishes off with his robes towards the king. Okay, and you see he goes up upon the dais, takes the steps almost 2 at a time, and then you see he whispers in the king's ear and kind of points back at you guys standing there. Okay, so now let me get to Fang. Okay, all right, let me get you going. Okay, so you're basically trying to detect magic more or less, which is something that that isn't your normal. Well, we didn't say it was your normal MO.
No, yeah.
But that's fine. We're that's the
You're
one
a
good thing
main
about
hunting
Fate.
monk, right? You're a
Is
main
that right?
hunting monk, so
That's part of his thing, So what we'll do is we'll give it another a notice roll, okay? And we'll say that I'm still going to mess with your undisciplined high concept because that is true. All right, and especially since you're not in your meditative stance or posture like you were before. So we'll say that it's kind of, for you especially, this is really not the best circumstances for you to be doing this in. In fact, the only thing that would be worse is if you were in combat while you were doing this. So I will still give you a 3 target number for that. And this is going on while Roice and the why do I keep the Viceroy are still talking? Okay. Man.
Could I create an advantage before I roll?
Sure, I'll let you do that.
Yeah. I would like to create one called Stilled Mind.
Okay.
So basically, he'll stand there, but he'll kind of bring his arms up as if he's bowing to the king, and he'll hold them there. But that's like a sort of focus for his meditation.
Ah, I see what you're saying. Okay. You're
So
trying to.
what would I use to make that?
will, right?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's fine.
Willpower, still your mind.
To stand to hold that and focus. So that's about it.
You got to pose.
Okay, -1. So I've got a 0.
Okay, so you want to fail with or succeed with the career? Well, you can't. You're trying to create an advantage, so or an aspect rather.
How much am I looking for here to make this work?
What'd you get 0? You need to invoke something.
Okay, I could do that. Let me see. I think I'll. Yeah, none of these really, apart from my high concept. Like undisciplined.
Before you used I'm better than Aristos, but I mean it's
Yeah,
it's
that doesn't really. I don't think that applies
it doesn't
here.
apply. Yeah, exactly. So you
I
may
think
not be able to do it.
The undisciplined thing might work because this is definitely not the way you're meant to do this. Right, you're supposed to.
No, it's not.
Take
Well,
time,
not
sit
you,
down.
because you're undisciplined. If you were just a golden dragon monk, which you may be at a later time, then sure, But because you're undisciplined, I mean, I think it's kind of you could do it, but I kind of just I think it's kind of a stretch because you're undisciplined.
Okay, sure, I'll leave it. Okay, I'll just try and do my notice roll.
Okay, yep. Okay.
Uh-oh. So,
sorry, number 3.
0.
Okay.
Damn it, Fang. Get it together. Okay, I'm gonna invoke Swift as a coursing river because he has to be quick about this.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so that gives
possible.
you gives you 2. You need 1 more point.
And I might also that's 1. I might also invoke Ghost of the Past because I've done this before and it's never gone well, but maybe this time it will.
Okay, sure, all right, that's fine.
It's cheeky, but
okay, so that's fine.
No, you may know what you're looking for because of the ghost of your past.
Right, of what you've done, especially like with
evil Oot.
Yeah. Okay, all right, so that's a success.
Yeah.
Okay, so you burned up 2 fate points, I think, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay, all right, so you achieved your goal, and you definitely see a taint around the
Viceroy?
It's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not. But like I said, it's a taint. Like a handprint, or it's not a pulsating, vibrant aura.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not coming from him.
Look at the guy's picture.
Huh?
Look at the guy's picture. How could we have thought otherwise?
Right.
Yeah. So it's not coming from him. He's not the source, but he is.
He has been in enough contact to have been touched by this, or claimed by this aura.
Okay. Sweet. All right. Well, that's almost everything Feng needs to know. But I'll wait.
All right. So
I know that Roice.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm not done with you. Hold on.
Okay. Now we fight.
Let me go to Jim. All right. So as you peer around with your elvish eyes or elven eyes, Go ahead
Okay.
and make your notice, and I will
Holy crap.
I will give you a fate point as I invoke the shadows around you.
Okay. Well, I'll take the fate point, but
So,
I got a -4.
oh wow, okay. You're gonna need a lot more than that.
Okay. I am going to succeed at a serious cost.
Okay, all right. Any idea what you want? I know
Uh,
the nature of what we're doing is something odd, but you figured there's something lurking.
well,
If you
guess
stare into
what?
the abyss stares also into you.
As I notice whatever it is that I notice,
Mm-hmm.
my father and some of his men burst into the throne room
Oh wow.
to confront us.
Oh wow.
It seems as though tied to what Roy said about them going through our stuff. My father's men
Yep.
had been doing it, and
Yep.
they found or planted something.
No, they found. Well, they knew that it was no secret that you were going to do the ritual. Okay. So
Okay,
that's
tell
no
me they got
secret.
my scroll.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, that's enough for them to not be happy, I think. Is your father a blade dancer as well?
No,
Just a
he's one
noble
of the arms noble, but he's an
armsman. Yeah.
armsman. He's a
Okay.
ranking armsman.
Okay. Good enough.
I don't know how far. His name is Galadil.
Right. I got it. Yep. Okay. All right. You, Aristos sees the flash of reddish eyes. Okay. And then you know that side door, the compartment that the shadow elves were kind of chilling out in.
Where the soldiers?
Yeah. Remember,
Okay.
you guys kind of saw them up in there. You see that the silhouette or the figure as it appears or notices that you kind of see it, and maybe I'm assuming you would you cry out or make
No,
any.
I'll like hit Fang and point over in the
Okay.
direction.
All right.
Mhm.
As you point, you see the figure slides through that door, and you see the last thing you see is kind of like the flick of a tail, you know, as it goes through the doorway and the door slams. Okay. And then that's when there
The
it
door.
is. Yeah, that's when
Was
you
it
hear that,
Ah!
and
a
you hear the
rat-like tail?
yeah, yep,
Oh, I'm running.
and you hear the clink and clank of arms as Galadil rushes in with a fist of armsmen with him.
I'll say, what
Secure
is this?
them.
I'll say, what is this about, Father?
The Viceroy cackles and
Tackles Fang.
right. Let me see here. I think I got a picture, a good
Why is
enough
he
picture.
cackling? What is he cackling
I
about?
know something's going on. They all cackle.
Because they're all evil.
Right. Let's see. Your father, huh? Man, you guys are. I give it to you. You know what? Everybody take a fate point because you guys are. You guys are doing. I don't need to be here. I could be playing along with this. 'Cause this is this is pretty insane. Okay, I'll find them. I got a good picture for him somewhere. But anyway, they come rushing into the room, of course, and they kind of are encircle you guys, kind of in a half circle, in between you guys and actually no, they're forming a half circle in front of the aisle leading towards the doors leading out. Okay, and Galadil walks up, and he's got like a crimson kind of like a crimson cloak, with like golden clasps on it, and it kind of swishes as he walks up, and you see he has and I'm probably wrong about this, but he has a basket hilted rapier,
Mhm.
and it's out, and you see it's also made of it's not the star metal that Aristos are made out of, but it's of elven metal, so it's still wickedly sharp, and he actually thrusts it in, or actually puts it in front of Fang, kind of cutting him off before he can move. And he says, "That's far enough, barbarian."
I'll say, Father, the Shadow Elves have a lycanthrope here. I just saw it rush into that room behind you. We don't have time for this.
He smiles and says, "Ha, Aristos, still the dreamer. You know, those half-elven eyes of yours are still playing tricks, I see."
Is there any way to get past him? Because I'll look at Fang. The lycanthrope is going to be gone. The were creature. I know they move quickly, so
yes.
if we delay, I'll try to get past. I'll try to juke him and try to juke and run. So
I mean, if you want to, you can. You know.
I'm going to run over towards that door.
Okay.
To the Shadow Elf door.
Okay.
If the rapier is pointed at me, I'll try and.
It's not pointed at your chest. It's in between you and the doorway, basically. He kind of puts it down, like a railway crossing in front of you.
Okay.
Well,
then I'll do a really impressive sort of crescent kick jump and try and leap over it.
Okay.
Dramatically, and then run for the door.
Okay. All right. Well, DBJ, what's Royce going? What's he going? Because he sees his companions are stirring to action. And you heard.
We haven't hit anyone yet.
You've heard all of this, so you know that Aristos believes he saw what he saw.
I saw what I saw.
I'm going to be the distraction, and my my left hand grabs my right hand as if there's a I'm trying to think of a descriptor. Green Lantern, when he uses his ring, like he uses one hand and grabs his wrist or something. But I'm going to have a glow summon up the power of Corona and just have that glow in my hand where you can you can see like the bone and sinew underneath the skin, and hold my hand up into the air and allow them to see from my opinion the glory of the sun.
Okay, so what you're going to do then is you're actually going to you're actually intimidating, basically. So
yes, I don't want to attack anyone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I want them to see this light just start to like pulse with my heartbeat just coming out of my hand. Just hold my hand up in the sky, and I kind of turn my eyes away from it because it's actually kind of blinding to me too.
Like a distraction.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you go ahead and make a. We're gonna do it simple. Go ahead and make a will roll. Okay. And I'll say that as a whole, you're gonna need a target number of 3, because 3 is the number tonight for whatever reason. And
I do have invocation.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I forgot. You do have it. I see. I'm looking at your sheet right now. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because this is a spell effect, basically, is what you're doing.
Right.
Okay. Fine.
I'm using it to basically create a distraction. I want them to focus on me. I'm pretty sure they're gonna, they may knock me in the head or something,
okay.
but
all right.
Regardless of that, I want them to kind of like focus on me.
Okay. All right. Well, actually, you go ahead and roll, and I'll. It's going to be an opposed roll, basically. Okay. So go ahead and roll your invocation, and if you aren't happy with your roll, or you want to do something else, if you've got some aspects that you can bump it up with, please do. Okay. Just let me know, and go ahead.
All right. Rolling now.
Okay.
Get a +1
total.
And in total, so that's 4.
Okay, that's pretty good. Okay. Great result. All right. Okay. So the guardsmen, the armsmen rather. Okay. They 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wow. Okay. All right. They look in awe as you do this minor miracle. Okay. And they are totally distracted, as they look like, whoa, what's going on? And you see they kind of shift and adjust their halberds and everything.
Okay.
Galadil rather, he, let's see, he is not swayed so easily. He actually is still focused on on Aristos and Feng. Okay, so you basically get the attention of the Orangeman. Okay, all right, which ain't bad. That's pretty good. Okay, all right.
Sorry. Side note.
Yeah.
I rolled
4.
a grade of 4.
Mm-hmm.
Would I then take that as a stress?
You know what? Since we kind of changed the way that your spells are kind of constructed, we're doing more of a freeform thing because that's what we kind of talked about before.
Right.
No, don't worry about that. What we'll do for now is that basically since most of your or a lot of your spell effect and stuff will probably the target numbers will vary depending upon what happens.
Okay.
In a lot of cases, you may fail or succeed with a cost or some sort, and then we'll go from there and decide what it may be.
No problem.
Yeah. So, but that's fine. You did it. We aren't gonna. We'll just go with it. And then so let me take care of Aristos since he is going to try to avoid Galadil. Are you there, Jim?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So how are you going to do that?
I'm going to use my athletics.
Okay.
And I'm going to just flip over him.
Oh, wow.
Vault over him, land at the door, and kick the door open so I can uncover the thing before it gets a chance to slink off any further.
Okay. Actually, you can go ahead, and he tries to just physically kind of block your way.
Okay.
Okay.
So I need to overcome him?
Yeah, it's overcome.
Or is it...
Oh, God. Okay, go ahead and roll. You should do it with no problem.
Oh, yeah. I got to succeed with style.
Okay. All right.
So since I succeeded with style,
yep.
I can apply a boost.
Yep.
And in his boost, I am going to have him, what is he going to do? He's going to be dazed by the blinded light for a moment.
Okay.
Since the light didn't get him before, Roice's light. So he avoided it before, but now as I vault over him, his stance changes as he's following me, and then he catches the light. So he's going to have a boost of dazed, blinded.
He puts his hand over his eyes, trying to shield his eyes from the glare. Okay. And Lloyd, go ahead. How are you going to get past him?
Yeah, I was hoping to backflip over him.
Okay, so that's another
with sort of a spinning crescent kick, sort of leap over him like a glorious phoenix.
Okay.
Think of it the side of the head on the way past.
Right. Okay. He has actually he is going to oppose you with his melee actually.
Okay.
Okay. So
am
he
I
actually
using athletics for this?
Yes, and it's an opposed roll. So he actually swings the blade of his sword as you leap over him.
And remember, Lloyd, you got the dazed if you need to use it.
Right.
I'm gonna need it.
There you go. Use
so that's just a 1 that I have there. So because my athletics is only 2 somehow, so it'll be a 1, and if I use the boost, it'll bring it to a 3.
Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. So he'll roll.
Shit.
That is 5.
Oh.
Okay.
I might have to be swift as a coursing river here.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I'll leave it. It's all right. So I
You can
to.
still you can still succeed with the serious cost if you want.
Serious cost being like a leg chopped off or something.
No, not necessarily that serious, but you know, if
No, it's
now being what the situation is, you know, Aristos made the first move after Royce did his grandstanding,
yeah.
and you see that as Aristos tumbled over him, he kind of shifted his body. Galadil did to kind of oppose him, but his main uh, offensive focus was upon you because you're the most imposing one there, honestly.
Right.
You know, and so basically what he did was he was able to keep his blade angled towards you, and we can just say that you know even though you tried to cartwheel or tumble over him, he was somehow still able to basically keep you at bay more or less. You know,
Yeah.
so you're still there. You know,
Okay. Yep.
now if you can think of a cost, a serious cost that sounds good, then by all means. Otherwise, I can go for it.
No, you go for it.
Okay, all right. Okay. Okay. All right. So all right. Okay. I got it. Okay. I got the cost. All right. So there we have it. Okay. So you guys have done your actions. Aristos has bolted through the side chamber door. Okay. And let's see here.
I'll kick the door in.
Left the two of you. It's not locked. It's not locked.
I'll still kick it in.
And and left the two of you here in the throne room. So being that he's kind of left the scene, we'll still deal with the situation here. Okay, for right now. All right. So as Feng sees Royce slide, actually kick the door open, it shatters into pieces and dive through. You guys, the circle of armsmen tightens even more. As well, actually, it does not. The five armsmen that are there, they are still kind of trying to mill about, trying to regain their kind of composure from what Royce did. And you see that Galadil still with his hands kind of his arms shielding his eyes. You know, he still points his rapier at Fang's chest.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "I told you, that's as far as you go."
There's a vile creature in the room back there, and you're standing in my way. Do not make me hurt you.
He says, "Show some respect." He says, "You're in the king's throne room. This isn't a whorehouse or a tavern."
You're the one who stormed in here and called me a barbarian. You shall respect.
This is our lands, human. Curb that wagging tongue of yours, or I'll cut it out.
Another threat from you, and I will pluck out your eye.
That's my father! Or my stepfather.
Right. A soft but steady voice says, "That's enough, Galadil. I'll have no bloodshed in my chamber." And you guys see the king Enoch is standing there, and he starts walking towards you guys.
Oh shit.
Okay.
30 minutes.
So the king walks towards you guys with the viceroy in tow, of course. who's wringing his hands?
This guy.
And you guys you guys see that now. I'm just looking at the viceroy's picture and laughing. I can't help it now. You guys started it. You see that the king walks with no sign of any fear or anything in your midst, you know, and he turns to you, Roice, and he says, "Please, there's no more need of this."
Okay. I reluctantly allow it to dissipate
Mm-hmm.
and blink away the lens flares
Yeah,
in my
yeah,
mind.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like, whoa, because he's hasn't, as far as I'm concerned, hasn't shown us any disrespect or anything like that. So no, yeah, I just let it dissipate.
Okay. All right. You see, he still holds a smooth, like almost the size of an egg, one of the stones in his hand, you know, and he walks up and he kind of glances down as if he'd almost forgotten it was there, you know, and you see he kind of smiles. Then he kind of shakes his head as if to clear the cobwebs from it, and then he looks back up and he says, I'll have no more of this discontent or this possible bloodshed in my chambers. Um, he points to Galadil and two of the armsmen, and he says, "Take your men and fetch your son." And Galadil kind of winces, and as he turns, you kind of hear him say, "Stepson." he's not of my blood,
Oh, there we go.
And you see that they rush through the ruined chamber door after Aristos. The king turns to you guys and he says, "Why have you burst into my throne room at this hour? What is the reason for this?"
Corruption lingers here.
Okay, he holds the stone up again as it catches the moonlight, and kind of you see the moonlight kind of like caresses the stone, and you see the etchings of the various runes and stuff on its surface. But you also see like almost as if there's some movement like inside of the stone itself. And Royce, this is familiar to you because you were actually a bearer of the stones for some time. Okay, you're also aware, as was Aristos, that it seemed that the stones actually were trying to communicate with you in some way. Okay, you often heard voices. Okay, um, the king turns to Fang. He turns to you,
Hmm.
and he kind of walks around you, you know, and comes again to face you, and he says, "What corruption do you speak of?"
Well, there was a foul lycanthrope in this throne room when we entered. And I also sensed dark magics in the area. Your viceroy here has been corrupted.
The king laughs. He laughs. Okay, and you hear the viceroy. Absurd! Absurd! Madness, my liege. Madness.
Be silent, I've sensed it on you. You stink of dark magic.
Okay. The king holds his hand up to the viceroy, to silence him. Okay, and his voice is cut short, and he turns to you and he says, "How can you be so certain?"
Many years of training has taught me to detect these sort of dark energies. And I traveled through the astral plane and saw these corruptions in the throne room. That's why we came as swiftly as we did.
Okay, he nods. He turns to pretty much to both of you as one, and he says priestling. He says there is no that you have only shown to be of an open heart in the time you have been here. I have no reason to think that what you say is untrue. I am ashamed that my people have not been more open and giving to you, but you must understand that even though we have lived here amongst the humans, your ways are still alien to us. That being said, he turns to Fang. He says, there are still laws that must be obeyed in this kingdom.
I say, explain the lycanthrope. Why was he in the throne room?
His demeanor changes, and you see the king almost like grow in stature in front of you as he kind of like, he raises his chin up, and of course he's not as tall as you are, but I mean you can just tell he kind of his bearing changes, he almost swells with the eons of noble blood that run through his veins, and he says, I am king here. You demand nothing of me. Remember that.
I'll look at him and say, well, good luck getting the other lore stone then.
What'd you say, Lloyd? I couldn't hear you.
I'll say, good luck getting the other lore stone then.
He holds his hand out and he says, you mean this?
What? I'll just go,
Damn
it, Wispen!
Serious cost, buddy. Serious cost.
God damn it, Wispen!
Mm-hmm. So he says, I've had this for some time now, thank you. So now you understand, and he kind of caresses your shoulder. He says,
flick his hand away.
he says, your brashness and your boldness is not always an answer to every problem.
I'll lean forward and smell him. There's corruption here. I can smell it. I've been trained to do so, and I will root it out.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
Not intimidated by you or your foul magics.
Oh wow! Okay. All right. Okay. You see that he reaches down for where his blade would be, but it's not there, of course, And he turns and walks back slowly towards the throne,
Fetch my Stormbringer.
And right. Don't play.
And my Mornblade.
And he sits on the throne, and he raises the lower stone up so that the light of the moon again can catch it, And he says, Viceroy, he says, take them to the dungeons.
I'll just stand there and I'll say, try it.
And you see that the circle of armsmen kind of slowly they lower their halberds towards you guys, and they begin to slowly collapse in towards you, and we're gonna end it there.
Wow.
I didn't do it.
How was that?
I didn't do it. It wasn't
I did
you
it.
this
I did
time.
all of it.
I didn't do it.
I just think that's what Feng would have done in that
Oh
situation.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but there's still something afoot here.
Oh yeah.
And it may not necessarily be the king who is actually doing it.
All right, well, hang on. Let me officially end this, and then if you guys want to ask me something off camera, you can. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. So, DBJ, you go first.
We're wrapping up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay. So anyway, DBJ, Dave Brian Jackson is my channel, but far easier to find me with Bring Back the Magic and a bunch of other things. And of course, playing Roice Vandermeer, the strangely pragmatic priest, and hopefully we'll survive another day.
Okay, Jim.
Thanks to Fang.
Jim the Chaos Net playing Aristos Blade Dancer, who seems to not be the cause of as much chaos as his friend Fang is in this particular session. So I'm looking forward to next time where hopefully we all will not be in the dungeons for long.
Okay, Lloyd.
Yeah, Lloyd, you're all DM on YouTube, and yeah, looking forward to fighting 15 halberdmen.
Okay. All right, okay, all right. I'm gonna sign out for so I can take any questions these guys have off camera here, so I don't ruin it for the listeners. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks for watching.